You know, I was giving Kevin Durant love because Kevin came out and said, don't blame me for the lack of parity. I'm not the reason Orlando stinks. I didn't give those picks. And I love what Kevin Durant said. But he also said something, and do we have the bite here, Sam, where he talks about, listen, I don't have to win. It's not going to change my legacy. This is who I am. Okay, so just listen if you can, Eddie. This is like Kevin Durant kind of saying, hey, man, winning's great, not winning's okay. Here it is.
To be honest, it wouldn't mean my life is complete. It wouldn't mean that I got a lot of life to live and I got a lot of I want to see. So, I mean, if I win a ring, it'd be fun to experience that moment when the buzzer sounds and embracing my teammates and in the locker room and all that stuff that comes with it. But after that, what's next?
It seems awful casual. Like, I hear that and I think to myself, listen, Karl Malone's the second leading scorer in league history. We never talk about Karl Malone. Like, if your legacy matters, and I think you have to have some ego to be great at anything, right?
Right.
I mean, you have great confidence in your game, you're shooting your game. When KD says, like, yeah, I'd be great, but, you know, what's next after that? I don't love that.
I don't like it either. The reason why I don't like it is because you're supposed to care. It's supposed to mean something. You know, and this is the reason why you came to the Warriors, was to win a championship, right? So now don't downplay it like, oh, it's not going to mean the world to me. No, it should mean the world. That's why you came over here and jumped ship after you was up 3-1. If it didn't mean the world, you could have stayed in OKC.
That's right.
Period.
Do you think he's posturing in case he loses? He's trying to relieve himself of a little pre-final stress?
A little hedge bet.
bet.
You know what I mean? Maybe. I think that's a good way to put it, that he is hedging his bet. If he loses, he say, hey, it doesn't mean that much to me, but I'm just not a big fan of that. It should mean everything to you because that's what you're playing for, number one. And if it didn't mean he shouldn't have jumped ships, period.
You've been a teammate of LeBron, and you've been a teammate of LeBron as he gets ready for a finals. Now, we know that LeBron has a certain, you told me last time you were on, there's regular season LeBron, and then he switches, literally emotionally, to playoff LeBron. Does he switch again to finals LeBron?
It's all the same. The playoffs and the finals is the same. It's just paying a little bit more detail to the little things because you know everything that they're going to do anyway. It's now you got to pay attention to the counters. It's like let's focus on what they do to counter us. So it's just a little bit more detail that you're going to pay attention to.
I was telling the staff this morning is that you're not going to stop Steph, and Draymond's Draymond. But if I was the Cavs, I would be sitting looking at Durant, and I'd be thinking, okay, fellas, there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. He may not play great. I'd want to get in Durant's head a little. I'm going to throw this at you, Eddie. That if I had Kevin Love, I would tell Kevin, go down low by the basket. We got enough three-point shooters. I want to force Kevin Durant, if in fact he guards you at times, to be under the basket. So on makes or misses, Durant can't get out on the break. Because I don't think you can stop Steph. He controls the ball too much. Steph's going to get some of his. And you have to start picking your poisons. I'd rather have Clay than Durant eat me alive. Because Clay hasn't shown an ability in a 7-game series to be great for 7 games. I think they try to get into Kevin Durant's head like they tried to get into Draymond's last year. If you were Cleveland and you've been with LeBron in these finals, how would you attack Durant? Physically, emotionally?
Well, to be honest with you, I think Steph is the key to them. I think Durant is going to get his because he's 7 feet tall. He get his shot off whenever he wants to. He protects the rim. I don't think Kevin Love has that much of a advantage down low on KD. I don't think so at all. So the way I would attack is I would use Steph. They're probably going to try to hide Steph, put him on J.R. Smith, right? So I would try to get down the court as fast as I can, get as much shot clock with the much shot clock that I can have, get down the court and run him off of pin downs just for the action, just so Steph has to go through, get J.R. Smith to get the ball and give it right back and then get into your high pick and roll game.
So what people do to Isaiah Thomas or John Wall, beat him up.
Yeah.
Screen.
Exactly.
And so by the fourth quarter,
his legs are gone.
By the 6th game.
And we know what Steph relies on. But Steph is a great finisher too, one of the most underrated finishers. But his jumper, you don't want them threes to start going down because I need Kevin Love to make threes because you're going to have to battle these guys because they shoot. Look at that first game in San Antonio. 25-point lead. Next thing you know, it was bam, 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 13. Then again, bam, bam, bam. And it's all from threes. And you have to be able to match those threes. So I need Kevin Love to give me some threes. I need Kyrie to give me some threes. But I need to run Steph Curry off and into as many screens and bodies as possible.
And it may not.
If you're going to try to hide it, because he's going to try to guard Kyrie at some point, and I think that's a mismatch for Steph. I think Kyrie's going to go at him. But when he's not on Kyrie, you got to run him through screens.
It's interesting. We saw, and it's an interesting point because what we've seen in these playoffs is the little guards be spectacular early, but by the end of the series, in all of them, Wall, Isaiah got hurt,
wore out,
Harden, Westbrook, Chris Paul's last game. After about 6 games of screens, they don't have anything left late. You know, it's interesting with LeBron. He's had a great playoffs. He had a really bad 3 quarters. Second half in one game against Boston, I think it was like game 3, and then game 4, the first quarter, he was uneven. You played with LeBron in that only series that he's gone a little AWOL. That was the only final. And I don't like to bring it up.
Y'all love bringing it up. If it's not Skip, it's you. Every time, man. Every time.
So it's funny, though, when he went a little AWOL this last series, like guys called him out. We need a confident LeBron. Confident LeBron's better. Boy, I like confident LeBron. Do you think, because he fell into it for about 4 games with you and you guys, but he fell into it here for about 3 quarters. Do you think now that first of all, why does he go into these funks? I argue it's when he loses confidence in his jumper, he loses confidence everywhere. Like, why do you think he goes into funks?
Well, I think the last time it was just the NBA called him up and was like, hey, we need another game. Stretch it out a little bit. It's getting too boring. So he was like, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to turn the ball over. I'm going to give them some extra opportunities. No, but in all seriousness, I just think that sometimes he can maybe get bored with the game. It can get too easy and he forgets that he still has to work. He's great, but he still has to work, and he just comes in a little bit more relaxed than he should. He should always have that killer instinct and that chip on his shoulder, and at times it's so easy for him. I think he can at times just be like, hey, man, it's too easy, and come coasting in, and you can never come. It's like coasting into a heavyweight fight, right? And you come coasting in, next thing you know, you get hit upside your head. Now you on the canvas. Now you got to try to get up and regroup, and that's what happens to him. I think you have to come in ready, and you come in throwing punches instead of getting punched first before you start throwing.
Eddie House is joining us, an NBA champ, 11-year vet. If I said to you, what is one thing you absolutely are sure of about this finals? Is there something, what's your strongest opinion either way in the final, not even just who wins?
7 games.
You think it's 7?
7 games. The NBA needs it. Has to go 7 games.
Now, as a former player, you sound like you're saying it's rigged or something.
No, I'm not saying it. I said the NBA does need it, though. Do they not?
Oh, yeah, after 3 sweeps in the West.
See what I'm saying?
So what you're saying is basically, they did a study years ago on officiating, and what they found with officials, more at the college level than pro, but in both, is that officials, the human instinct is to help the losing team, is to make the game more even. And they found this significantly impactful in college. So what you're saying, because I kind of believe this too. Let's say Golden State runs them out. I mean, it's 128-88. In the second game, I think it's kind of very human for the officials to let the game get more physical.
Right.
Let you push Steph more. And I'm with you. I think the officials, I don't think they care who wins. What they want is a fair fight.
Right.
And if the game's called too tightly, it hurts Cleveland.
And a good product they want to put on TV.
That's right. And so I mean, nobody wants to be part of another sweep. So fans see that as rigging. I think what the officials think is, okay, we're letting it become a finesse series. That's to Golden State. And then they'll let Cleveland, they'll have a game or two when they let it get really physical. Advantage Love, Tristan, LeBron. And I think the series will ebb and flow that way. Yeah, that's my gut feeling on it.
I think so, too. I think it's going to go 7 games. And then, from that point, what stars are going to be the stars? And also, who has the better bench? Who do you think has the better bench?
It depends on what I get from Iguodala. I think Cleveland's is underrated.
I think they're underrated, too. They got a former All-Star, Darren Williams, over there. Kyle Korver could knock down shots. I mean, I think these guys are going to play pivotal roles if they're going to win. And there's always a guy that comes off the bench that makes something happen. A game here and a game there that helps you win the games. And I think that's what it's going to come down to throughout this series. But in Game 7, it's going to be the stars are going to have to be the stars.